All right, here we go again. The MaxPreps Podcast, Steve Montoya with Zack, Poff. We're going to jump right into some rankings talk before we look ahead to this week. Julian Lewis and Carrollton made a big statement, big time win. They moved up to number 7 this week. Would you like out of them this week?
Yeah, I actually thought that game was going to be a little more competitive against a previously undefeated Gainesville squad. But yeah, Julian Lewis, he's just been clicking this year. Yeah. You know, I think he completed 15 of 19 passes last week. He's been very efficient with the football. He's completed nearly 80% of his passes. They won 45-16. So yeah, they jumped up from 9 to 7. They're 5-0 this year, and with Carrollton, you know, I've been saying it before the year started. I think they're one of the favorites to win 6A this year, and they're looking like it the way they're playing. They're going to be on ESPN2 this week, so it should be a fun game against a team from Alabama, Parker, who's got the number 1 recruit in the class of 2025 from Alabama, Ohio State commit Naeem Offord. So that'll be a fun game to watch. But yeah, I'd expect Carrollton to roll in that one. But yeah, Julian Lewis playing great, and the defense is looking good too.
And then you were in Vegas this past weekend. You got to see Bishop Gorman again, and they were up against Orange Lutheran.
Yeah.
That was a semi-close game, but Bishop Gorman pulled away, and a big win for them, bouncing back. And kind of just shows they're the real deal. They just happened to play the number 1 team the other week and lost. But they finished 3-1 out-of-state play. Bishop Gorman looking pretty good. Yeah,
they needed that too. You know, after losing to Mater Dei, they wanted to show, hey, we're still one of the best teams in the country, and they showed that. Orange Lutheran the week before, they beat St. Francis Academy. So they're a very good team, and they dominated from the start. Impressed with Micah Eugenio, junior quarterback. He got the start. Melvin Spicer out for a couple weeks with a shoulder injury. He threw for 6 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards. So he looked great.
Not bad.
Yeah, Greg Toller had a big game. He had 3 touchdowns and also threw a touchdown. And, impressive performance by Bishop Gorman. Feel bad for Olu because it's like they took out their frustration from that, not their typical performance in that loss against Mater Dei, and they took it out on Olu. Big-time win, 55-28.
Yeah, and speaking of St. Francis, they were in Texas this past weekend. They played Duncanville. It was a heck of a football game.
Yeah.
Duncanville was able to kind of hold on and pull out the victory. And for Duncanville, that's a big win because not many big games, out-of-state games at least, in the state of Texas. So big 28-24 win for Duncanville. Yeah,
that was the best game for me last week. You know, St. Francis was had control of that game midway third quarter. Then Duncanville started getting things going. And I love the resolve from Keelan Russell. Alabama is getting an absolute winner. He's only lost 1 game his whole high school career. You know, it looks like Duncanville's going to win that game. They're up 21-16, have the ball in St. Francis territory. Russell throws a bad interception. Blake Woodby nearly takes it back for a pick 6. St. Francis scores on the next play. And then Keelan leads them on a 5-play, 87-yard drive, capped off with a 20-yard touchdown to Zack Turner, who had a big-time game, one of the better wide receivers in 2026 in the state of Texas. So, yeah, big win for Duncanville and an even bigger win for the state of Texas.
Yep. And then going back to Georgia, Buford made a big leap this week, and they've been looking real good.
Yeah.
And their only loss was a real close one to obviously a very good Milton football team. So don't sleep on Buford. They're a good football team.
Yeah, they took the biggest jump this week, and, they handed Douglas County, a team I thought was going to win that game, a 31-14 loss, first loss of the season for Douglas County. So, but yeah, Buford, they're good on both sides of the ball. And with them, the scary thing for Buford is Dayton Rayola is getting more and more confident, getting more reps each week. So a junior quarterback, obviously, his big bro, Dylan Rayola, doing big-time things at Nebraska right now. But you can see Dayton's getting more comfortable as QB1. They got a strong running game. Justin Baker, Tennessee commit, he went for over 100 yards, 2 tutties. And the defense is great. Maybe the best linebacking core in the country, led by Jaden Perlott and Mantrez Walker there. So, yeah, big win for Buford. 31-14 win, kind of dominated both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and then just how good is the Trinity League? I mean, J. Sarah Catholic comes in, the 4th team in the top 25.
Yeah,
it's not even really a debate what the toughest league conference is in the entire country. It's got to be the Trinity League. That's 4 teams in the top 25.
That's insane. There's 6 teams total, and on top of the 4 being in the MaxPreps top 25, all 6 are ranked in the top 50 in the nation.
It's insane.
You got Servite, who's right around 50. And then Santa Margarita, who's, I think they're 28. So there's close to being 5 teams in the Trinity League. Yeah, impressive stuff. And it's been like that for a while. I mean, Mater Dei, it's funny because people always say, why do you always have Mater Dei or Bosco near the top? Because they've proved to be two of the top programs here over the last decade.
Yeah, and they like we're talking about, they play a brutal schedule, and it doesn't get easy when you get to conference.
The one stat that always jumps out to me is Mater Dei has not lost to a program outside of St. John Bosco since 2015.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's crazy, and it's not like they're dodging people.
No, they're 18-0 against out-of-state competition since 2017 also, so they're beating the best teams from other states.
Yep. And then in Texas, at Atascocita, a big win. I mean, Westlake's a very good football team, and to beat Westlake.
In Westlake, too.
In Westlake, that means something in the state of Texas, so that's a huge win.
Yeah, that's the first time Westlake's lost at home in the regular season since 2018.
Wow.
And North Shore and Lake Travis are the only other two programs in the state of Texas that have beat Westlake since 2019. North Shore's done it twice in the playoffs, and then Lake Travis did it at home back in 2019 with Hudson Carter, I believe, at quarterback. But yeah, Atascocita, they got a big-time backfield. Carde Mack playing quarterback this year, stud athlete. He had another big game in that 39-21 win against Westlake. And then they also got Oklahoma-bound running back Torrey Blaylock. So October 25th, remember that date because that's when they play North Shore. Chance both those teams are undefeated when they play, so that could be another big one. The same night as Mater Dei Bosco, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's just happening to be my birthday, too. So
there you go. Happy early birthday, man.
Maybe I'll be at that game. Yeah, all right. All right, let's look ahead a little bit, get to some games this week. I mean, St. Francis, Mater Dei is kind of the headliner. Man, St. Francis, it's every week we're saying St. Francis here, St. Francis there, Texas, California, wherever it may be. Now they go and they play the number one team in the country. And if St. Francis wants to make a statement, this is the game.
Yeah, it's
going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. You know, we saw the same thing when Gorman went out there. You know, people thought Gorman was going to hang with them, and Mater Dei really dominated from the start to finish. Yeah. I would expect the same thing Friday, but I thought the same last year when Mater Dei transferred out to Baltimore to play St. Francis. It was a tight game all the way to the end.
True.
Mater Dei had a couple of defensive scores in that game, but yeah, if St. Francis wants to pull this out, they got to stop the run, and they got to force Dash Byerly, a Washington commit at quarterback, to throw the ball, make Mater Dei one-dimensional. But I don't see that happening. Mater Dei's offensive line is too good, and I think their defense line is too good. I think they're going to dominate on defense, and I'd expect Mater Dei to win this one pretty easy.
Okay. All right, in Ohio, Massillon and St. Edward, this is a good football game. Both these teams lost to ranked teams, so that's their lone losses of the season. Both these teams traditionally are powerhouse programs, very well-known programs, so this could be a real good game out in the state of Ohio this week.
Yeah, these are the two best teams in the state of Ohio, in my opinion. I think most people would agree with that, and Massillon lost to Bergen, bounced back, got a nice win against a team from New York last week. And then St. Ed's, they beat a very good Elder team, a rivalry game. Mm-hmm. And, Brandon White, hopefully he heals up soon, but it looks like he's going to be out for a while. He didn't play last week. Tyrese Buchanan, junior running back, came in. He rushed for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns in that win versus Elder. So impressed with him, but I think that's going to be too big to overcome for St. Ed's without Brandon White. I think Massillon's going to go into St. Ed's and beat St. Edward for the third consecutive year. I don't know, though. It's going to be tough, but, yeah, I would expect Massillon to win with Brandon.
Pick this week, then.
I would expect them to win with Brandon White a little banged up.
All right, and in Florida, Norland, Chaminade Madonna, early on in this season, you think this is going to be against two real highly ranked teams? Both. Chaminade Madonna has a couple tough losses, but they're still a very good football team. Norland looked real good last week with a big win over Northwestern, so what do you like in this game?
Yeah, Norland showed me some resolve last week. They're down 17-8 in the fourth quarter, came back and won 21-17. Teddy Bridgewater has turned Northwestern around quick. But big win for Norland. Chaminade Madonna, a lot of people thought they were going to start 0-3, including myself when they played Heritage. Pulled out a 48-45 win. Been impressed with Preston White at quarterback. He's started the last 2 games. They've gone 2-0. And I think they're going to go 3-0 against a very, very good Norland team. But I think Chaminade Madonna is finally figuring things out, and they're playing their best football. But Enio Yapor, quarterback for Norland, this kid's been putting up numbers since his 8th grade year. He's got a chance to pretty much break every Florida state record for passing yards and touchdowns, but I think Chaminade Madonna is going to find a way to hand Norland their first loss of the season.
All right. And then out-of-state clash, Arizona versus California, Basha against Mission Viejo.
Yeah.
Mission Viejo, the Diablos, they're looking good 4-0. They're probably their biggest win was Santa Margarita.
Yeah.
Basha's been putting up a lot of points in this game. So for Arizona, this is a big game to see if they can knock down Mission Viejo. This one's in California, though, right? And it's it should be a tough game for Basha, but
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. You never know, man. And, Basha's got a sophomore running back, Noah Roberts. This guy's going to have pretty much every D1 offer to his name here in the next few years. But, yeah, Mission Viejo, I think they're the third best team in Southern California. Some people even think they might be the second best team. But the way they're playing this year offensively and defensively, they got the skill package. They got a couple of stud wide receivers in Phillip Bell, Ohio State commit, and then Vance Spafford, one of the best junior wide receivers. So I expect Mission Viejo to roll in this one. But if Basha wants to pull off the upset, they're going to need their sophomore running back, Noah Roberts, to have a big day.
Okay. All right, American Heritage, Miami Central. On paper, this is a real good game. I mean, American Heritage has 2 losses, both tough losses. Miami Central, after losing their first game, has just been putting up, I think, over 50 points in their last 3 games, each of those games. So this could be a shootout between these 2 teams.
Yeah, you could just tell, Miami Central season opener against Lakeland, they weren't clicking. Mm-hmm. It was an ugly night, too. It was raining. They figured things out here. But American Heritage, you look at Diabell and Malachi Tony. Tony just reclassified to 2025, so I know Miami fans are happy he's going to be getting there a year early. But you just look at the numbers those 2 guys are putting up together, phenomenal stuff. But, Nashawn Montgomery, a Florida commit at Miami Central, his first year there, he transferred in. He's having a nice year. I think he's going to have a big showing on Friday, and I think Miami Central is going to have Heritage at their loss.
All right, I'm noting all these picks you're going to make here. All right, finally, another California and Arizona matchup. Corona Centennial heads to Liberty to play. Corona Centennial has kind of been a tough team to read this year. They look good against Mater Dei, smacked against Santa Margarita, then bounced back last week to beat a ranked team at the time, Lone Peak.
Who beat Corner Canyon.
And then you have Liberty that's 3-0, but this is really Liberty's first real big test of the season. So good one brewing here.
Yeah, and, Liberty's kind of in that same boat as Basha, where, Basha had to replace Damon Williams at quarterback. Same thing with Liberty. They got to replace Navi Bruzon at quarterback, who was our Arizona Player of the Year last year. Corona Centennial, for me, it's, they were banged up early in the season.
Right.
Husan Longstreet, you can tell he's getting back to 100%. They'll be getting some defensive guys, too, that are going to be key for them who had to sit out because of transfer rules.
Yep.
So is Corona Centennial starting to get healthy? I would be surprised if they lost another game until the playoffs started. I expect them to roll in Arizona this week. I think Longstreet's going to have another big game. And I think they're going to win by at least 2 or 3 touchdowns against Liberty, who's still kind of to figure out who they are with Navi Bruzon and a very talented class of 2024 graduating from last year.
Hey, that's all in his dome right there. All in his dome. Not one note
notes,
taken.
Yeah, no notes.
Not one note taken. Well, I got a couple sheets here, but that's why he's our national football editor. That's Zack Poff. I'm Steve Montoya. Thanks for tuning in to the MaxPreps Podcast.